What's this thing? And now it comes down to one putt for the win. Is it his time?
Here we are, the Pitchmark Collective with special guest Tim Hunt. We'll get to him in a second. We've got TL2 here, the Riviera Raccoon, as of today. JL, he likes sandwiches. Remember, listeners, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, the Pitchmark Collective. Now to our special guest, Tim Hunt, the CEO of PE. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Appreciate you joining us. Quick, Tim, Teddy, and I know each other for a few years now. Justin's never met Tim, but except for about 10 minutes ago. Tim, why don't you?
I already like him because he dislikes Teddy. Anyone that
the hell
flips shit to Teddy, he's my favorite person in the world.
Tim can scrap a little bit when it comes to shit talk, which is always nice. So, Tim, give us a quick intro on you. Tell us about maybe your golf story a little bit, what you do, and whatnot, and then we can get into things.
All right. I'm a PE teacher. Mainly, I just got back into coaching as that was discussed last week. That's kind of how I actually worked with Teddy's dad long time ago when I was like a teenager. Well, in early college years at the golf course, and then went to Florida State, came back, and became a teacher, and I was coaching golf. And that's how I met Teddy. But I've been playing golf for 30 years now. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm really bad. Just depends on the putter.
So to clarify, were you Teddy's coach at one point?
No, Teddy was played for a different school, and his dad was actually his coach. That's probably why he was the number one player on the team.
That makes so much sense right now.
Wasn't the skill or the talent; it was coach's son.
No, Teddy's sister was really good, very good player, and he was a good player too. I'm obviously giving him a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how and then kind of, I don't know how, me and Teddy got paired up, I think in the country club invitational here in town. And I was like, hey, you want to join this group? And
Teddy essentially runs the group.
Basically.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind.
Yeah. So, but Teddy last week tried to say that I kept him from being able to defend his championship. Now, his sister, she was able to hold it, I think, every year she played. Is that correct?
I think most years, I feel like she lost maybe like two of them because there were a couple other good girls.
Who did she play the same school you played?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was older.
Christine?
Yeah.
Christine older than you? Okay.
Oh, no. Christine was younger than me.
Okay. So who would have beat her?
There was some girl at Lake Weir, and then I feel like there was somebody else that was decent. From like Vanguard or something. I mean, there was only like a couple girls that were okay. Yeah, but she was able to defend it because she was able to continue to participate. Whereas like me, I wasn't able to participate. So it's kind of hard to defend it.
Last week you said that it was because of me that you.
I didn't say solely you. I said you were a part of the process and the voting, or however it went down. I don't know what went down behind those closed doors, Tim.
Neither do I, but I can speculate that I had no part in it, and nor did high school golf play any part of it. So, as you know,
Teddy, you told us that Tim voted specifically on the rule change or whatever.
Yeah, my name was brought up by Tim.
He created the resolution.
I had no dog in the fight. So I will clear if you're not. So Cam I don't know how big high school football is where you came from,
Mhm.
nor you, JL. I don't know if it's a big deal there, but it's a big deal in Florida. And our town had a private school that Teddy did not go to.
No.
That basically, like, in the early 2000s, they were paying their football coach close to $100,000 a year, and they basically recruited from basically where they would sit in the stands at other schools, like JV games, and recruit in the stands to the parents. Say, hey, come to our private school. We'll give you a scholarship. Your kid's really good at football. So they had really good football team. In fact, is John Brantley around your age?
He was around my sister's age.
Okay, so John Brantley, he played at the University of Florida for Urban. He went there, and so what happened was all the public high schools kind of banded together and created a conference. Golf they didn't care about. It was kind of got lumped in with all the other
collateral
sports.
damage.
So they created it. Yeah, so they created a conference that was only the public schools, and nobody locally would play that team because of their recruiting. And so golf, unfortunately, Teddy got knocked out of that tournament. So that's actually what happened. They did not ask the golf coach.
It's just weird. Like, how do you continue to have a county championship when you don't have like all the players in the county? You know, like.
Well, they didn't call it the county championship. They called it
they called it something
NCIAC.
stupid.
Yeah, I know. I can't even tell you all the letters that were in it because they changed it though. Because I was asked, I still have to run it, but they just changed it to like the MAC now. So we're now in the MAC. So that's what happened. I didn't have any say in it. It was because of football and all the other sports were collateral damage.
This does explain a lot because Teddy's still so bitter 20 years later.
Oh,
You see the look in his eye, like he's listening to you talk and he's like, fuck this guy.
I have to imagine
he just wants to go off right now. He's like, Tim, I'm going to come break your hip. That's what he's
we
thinking.
discussed this many times. In fact,
yeah, we bring it up quite a bit.
We were actually had a text with one of the kids that played on my team that won it his senior year. And we kept telling Teddy, hey, remember your senior year? Matt got the championship that year. We all were texting him like a couple weeks ago, giving him a hard time. So we might rib him a little about it, so that might make him a little extra bitter. But it was not me that had any say in it. I would have liked him to be there because actually I didn't really care. And his dad was a pretty cool dude. So, but I had a good rapport with your dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there was nothing like huge happened to just be at the other private school that like,
yeah.
I don't want to say they didn't care about, but they didn't y'all weren't recruiting for football. Like you guys were good at like the smaller sports like golf and volleyball and whatnot. So I just want to clear my air. I'm not a bad guy. I didn't keep Teddy from winning his championship. And, you know, maybe had he won that championship, he would have ended up better than Chase Koepka, you know?
I don't think that cleared anything up for Teddy.
Chase Koepka catching some strays here on the Pitchmark Collective.
You know what? Next week we'll get Chase Koepka on.
Yeah,
he can clear the air. Say, hey, I'm sorry that I wasn't good until my brother, you know, made it big and bought me a TrackMan, and that's why I sucked growing up.
That Jenna Sims actually replied to one of my comments on her IG yesterday. She was wearing a Gator shirt. She was wearing a Gator shirt, and I was like, I wrote because they like put her on the open IG.
Yeah.
Because like I guess their kid took their first step. So I commented, I'm like Brooks does not approve of that Gator shirt. I can't believe you're wearing that. # Go Knowles.
Did you tell her to take it off?
She replied. She was like, I know. I guess she's like a Georgia fan. So
then how the hell did she end up with a Gator
shirt?
Georgia fan, married to a Knoll, wearing
a Gator shirt.
It wasn't a Gator. It wasn't a Florida Gator shirt, but it had a Gator on it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it was Lacoste.
As a Seminole, like I don't let my wife. Like we have like the Fiesta wear plates, and like we cannot have orange and blue at the same time. like no, you know, like I taught my daughter. I took her to like Sesame Street at the O'Connell Center, and she was like, she saw the Gators when she was 3. She was like, "Boo Gators, Dad!"
This fucking guy.
So,
Well, Tim, so I know. So did you work with my dad, or were you there before he got there
you
at
know,
the golf course?
He might have come after. Was he after? There was a guy named Jeffrey.
Yeah, he was right after Jeff.
Okay, so I left when Jeffrey got there. I worked at the country club, so I think I knew him because I still had friends that worked there at Golden Hills, and I'd play out there sometimes.
Mhm.
So, and then when I came back and was coaching,
Yeah.
you know, I knew him. So,
Yeah.
but
All right.
now that the air is cleared, Teddy maybe he'll let it go. Probably not. If he doesn't, we'll just keep
You see the
giving him
look
a
on
hard
his
time.
face. Teddy doesn't let anything go. By the way, he's gonna bring this up in the next podcast when you're right here.
I have to imagine when Teddy's like standing over a putt for double bogey on his like Thursday night league, he's just in his head thinking, if Tim didn't derail my career when
Senior
I was
year.
like, I wouldn't
be
be
playing
on the
league
team.
right now. I'd be playing.
That's
the
what
Corn
lives in
Ferry
his
Tour.
head. Yeah, he'd be chasing the KFT.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I have a question though. Everyone that Teddy knows is a Knowles fan, Florida State. Teddy, how the hell are you a Gator fan?
I don't know if it's everyone he knows, but
Yeah,
Like the
I
last
mean,
3 people we've met that are friends with Teddy.
yeah,
Who,
there's a lot
Tyler?
of
Who else?
yeah. There's a little Florida. It's like, I mean, it's 50-50 really, and so you get like south of Orlando. I think that's when you get the Miami fans.
mhm.
Okay, and so you get to like Miami, and then you see some
Miami
people.
fan. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've met one Miami fan that actually went to Miami.
Well, yeah, sure.
Nobody go. No, they're not. You don't meet their fans until they win. Like, because they don't go to the games. They
They haven't
they
won in
travel
like
better
20
to their.
years.
They're worse than Gator fans. I said it.
Okay. But no, I grew up a Florida State fan because everybody in Ocala primarily was like a Gator fan, at least at my school. So I preferred Florida State, went to a bunch of games growing up. And then just when it came time to go to college, chose UF. So
Got it.
Ironically, I grew up a Gator fan because my brother is 7 years older, and he actually went to UF and UF Law. And yeah, I do have a brother, Teddy.
I think this might be the first time I ever heard Tim talk about a brother, to be honest with you.
that's what I said the first time he brought up his brother. He's like, I've known you for 20 years. You have a brother?
Yeah, he's 7 years older, so he doesn't golf. He's a lawyer. He's a good dude, but I mean,
You should have had him come on to defend my slanderous claims.
This is my
Against your
brother,
character.
aka my lawyer, and he's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're coming
litigate
in
this
hot.
against TL2. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
TL2's being served
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yeah, for
Go check your
defamation of
mailbox, please.
character.
Teddy. The subpoenas in
Yeah.
there.
I can't. My back is done. I can't get up off this couch.
Yeah. So speaking of Teddy's, we got to change the scenery with Teddy. And a new nickname.
No plans. No plans.
Both leading to his. We're going to talk about his golf experience here from earlier today.
We don't have to.
We're recording this on Sunday. Teddy apparently shot like 64 in a
No, I didn't.
best ball scramble.
2-man scramble. Don't throw a best ball in there.
2-man scramble. My partner probably shot 65, and then I helped.
You tapped in the 3-foot birdie part.
Yes, correct.
Got it.
Correct.
I don't believe that.
That's
All right.
What do you think happened, Tim?
I would say that it was probably pretty equal because you're both pretty close caliber players. Like,
Yeah, it was pretty even. And the unfortunate part was anytime if I hit a bad shot, he hit a bad shot, and vice versa. So the holes we struggled. It was not enjoyable.
So,
Tim, you probably got a. My bad, Justin. Go ahead.
do you actually like playing 2-man scrambles?
This was my first time playing a 2-man scramble.
I hate the format. I hate playing scrambles.
I
I'm
can
fine with
imagine
basketball.
with the
I
players
hate
like
scrambles
Teddy.
so much. Hate them. They're the worst.
I mean, two-man's better than 4. Like, if people ask me to go play 4, I won't even do it anymore. Because it just ends up screwing up my golf swing for like 4 or 5 days. Because it's like, well, I'm 4th one up. There's someone in the fairway. Might as well just swing out of my ass every single time. But I mean, two-man's better. But it's like I would much rather go play a best ball than a two-man scramble.
Best ball is preferred, but this is my first time doing the 2-man scramble, and it wasn't as bad as like a 4-man scramble because you still kind of have to try every single shot. Not that you're not on a 4-man scramble, but like it, and especially when it's like like your partner's a decent player and like you're playing a bunch of other decent players too. Like it's a little more competitive instead of like holding on to a piece of string for 18 holes, trying to get it like as close as possible to a hole. You know what I mean?
That's what
so
I was
it wasn't that bad.
Like a 2-man scramble with Teddy and Ian is much different than like a 2-man scramble where I'm the best player out of the 2 on our team, right?
Yeah.
Although Tim and I look pretty good at the fields, you know, EOYB.
We did.
Oh yeah, that was 2-man scramble too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Who are you with, Teddy?
Better than 4. I just.
Yeah, one of the Wolf brothers.
Could he walk in a straight line at that point?
No, that was the one that I had as my partner.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one was a stick. He hit like on that one hole. On that 10th hole. You know, you had to kind of lay back.
Mm-hmm.
He hit driver.
No, he whatever he laid up with, but he hit driver off the deck onto the green and made eagle.
Yeah, he put like 10 feet and just made the putt like it was nothing. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, he's a good player. Who was he with?
Alec.
Was he with
I don't remember who his partner was. Well, it was pretty fair though when we did all the teams because like it was everybody. Any good player had like a not so good player and vice versa. So
yeah, I had Cam.
That was a lot of fun. That was the best golf I played the whole week.
Yeah,
actually,
the last couple holes you were hitting good iron shots. Like like you were knocking to like 6-8 feet, 3 or 4 holes in a row.
I was just glad I got to walk in a couple birdie putts on Daniel January, you know, on the 4-hole stretch. So. Teddy, I'm actually becoming the raccoon too. I got rosacea as well, so don't feel bad, buddy.
Oh, well, I think I actually did get sun.
You definitely got sun.
Teddy's is going down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yours is going down, Teddy. Mine's going up.
Is it getting hot in there, Cam? Is your AC broke?
No, it's not. I get warmed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited.
Go
Tim.
flick on that wall
unit, on the pod.
that window unit.
You should have seen how excited when you said yes, Tim. Like he was just jumping all over the place. Super happy to have a guest on. He's so tired of Teddy and I. So.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm super. Usually, JL, I do not agree with your takes. So, like the fact that we agree on the scramble is pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. So. But I don't like it. I don't really care about the swinging out of my shoes part. That doesn't bother me. They're just a 4-man scramble. It can be fun, but like more than once a year, I have zero desire. Right? Like
I do it once a year, and I do it just for my brother-in-law because they've got this at my home course. They have a 4-man scramble with this painting company, and every year, like he's like, oh. We couldn't win. We couldn't find anyone to play. And last year I played with him. And so now I've got to play every year because we won. And it was basically me playing my own ball. But it was to beat like another buddy that we play with because I think they kind of cheat in a 4-man scramble, which drives me nuts. And that's also the other thing that drives me nuts about 4-man scrambles. Like I was playing with my buddy Todd yesterday, and he played on Friday in a 4-man scramble. And the winning team shot a 49.
So I have a question. Was this like a fundraising 4-man scramble tournament where you could buy mulligans and buy the whole?
I asked him. He said no. He said there was no string, no mulligans. They shot a 49. And I'm like, there is no way. How the hell do you shoot a 49?
Mulligans? Any mulligans?
He said no to that. Maybe
there
maybe they had a mulligan, but yeah.
You see, you see all these videos of like these group of old timers coming in with a scorecard of 49, 50, right, to win. Those have to be like fundraising stuff because that's all I've ever played in when it comes to a 4-man scramble. Is like it's put on by like a nonprofit to help fundraise, and people are throwing money at Beat the Pro to get a hole in one. Like you could just buy a hole in one or whatever, and then you buy all the mulligans, max out. You're spending $500 a person. Because I mean that's what happened the last 4-man scramble we won. We just maxed out everything and we won. It was me, Eddie, and 2 people who play like golf once a year. So it was
Eddie. Yeah.
I think I hit a couple. I hit a couple shots.
Yeah.
Hold on. I didn't know that Eddie had, like, somebody said that he was the runner-up for the Nicholas Award in college. I didn't know he was that. I didn't know he had that like good of a pass. I knew he was a good golfer. I had no idea he was like an All-American.
I thought based off the last conversation I had with him about his college golf, I'm pretty sure he's won like 5 college tournaments in that time. I don't know about the Nicholas Award at all. Probably easily Google that, but he had a pretty good career at UCCS.
So his high school district tournament didn't get.
Yeah, he was probably able to compete.
He got to
in
play
all
in
the
that.
tournaments. Yeah.
The best part is that the county championship doesn't mean anything as far as like advancing in state.
No, it didn't.
Eddie will actually be playing in the Colorado Amateur Tournament, whatever it's called, to try and qualify for the USAM August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down in Colorado Springs.
You're trying to qualify?
I'm going to caddy Friday, Saturday, Sunday if he makes the cut Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So Cam, did you get to play golf this weekend?
No, I haven't touched a golf club in 14 days.
So I did just look up Eddie. He was a top 24 golfer in the U.S. in 2011 for NCAA and NJCC. So it's pretty legit. Or that was in high school, I guess. Mm-hmm. So anyway, sorry. I'll let it go.
No, we need somebody to research.
I say this all the time, in the chats we're in, Tim. I've said it on the podcast. Like he's probably the best golfer I've ever played with, like personally.
And I believe, and I didn't like not believe it, but I didn't realize. I mean, like he had to, like he was legit. Like, listen, like we had so many people that come in, and I mean, like, oh, I'm a great golfer, and they can't like. Mm-hmm. We had a guy said that he played for Duke University, and I was like, so I like named people that would have played when he was there, and he was like, oh yeah, I was friends with him, and then we played with him, and he couldn't do. And when he said he played at Duke, they were really, really good, and he can't break 80 from like 6,000 yards.
Do I know this person, Tim?
His name was Heath. Were you in the group when he was there?
No.
So he like challenged me. And I remember when we were doing like the belt matches. So he was like, I started out like double bogey, and he was like 3 up through 5 holes. And he was like, he was more excited than anything in his life. And then I think I ended up closing him out on like 15. But I'm like, if you played at Duke, you would not be excited about being 3 up on me. You know what I mean?
You also probably wouldn't challenge some random guy in Ocala, Florida to a belt match if you played college golf at Duke University.
I know. I was like, it was just like, why are you saying this stuff? Like, that's stuff that you can look up, right? Like, you can look up archives of golfers that played at Duke.
Yeah, we just Googled Eddie and it popped up the 2011 UCCS golf roster. Like, it's pretty easy in today's day and age to fact check that.
Golf is that weird sport though, man. Like people want to say that they're so much better than they are. Like I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, and then you're just setting yourself up for embarrassment and ridicule.
Like I hate saying when someone's like, "Oh, what's your handicap?" It's like it's almost embarrassing. I'm like, I'm a 4, because now it's like they expect me to shoot like 74. And if I shoot like 79 to 80, it's like, man, you had a really bad day. It's like, no, I just didn't make a few putts. I
It's
still
also
enjoy the
people not
game.
understanding how the handicap system works, right? So
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can usually get a gauge. Like if you meet somebody and they're like, "Oh, you golf," and if the first question they ask is how far do you hit your driver,
Oh gosh.
guaranteed they don't break 80 ever. Like if that's their first question, they're not a good golfer. Like you can tell just by talking to people.
yeah.
So speaking of the handicap thing, it was kind of interesting. I played Emerald Valley Golf Club yesterday with a buddy of mine, Todd. He's probably gonna listen to this and just rip me a new one. But he also posted about me. He took a picture and he was like, "Man, Justin, why are you so far back there?" Because he outdrove me on like one hole. But I also took $40 from him, and I took 85 from the guy we were playing with. They were playing a game. It was $5 a stroke. And like they do this every time, I guess. I'm like, man, that's pretty heavy. Like $5 a stroke. I don't typically play for that much, but it took in like handicaps and stuff. And
Mhm.
the course we played from the duck tees because it's where the University of Oregon plays and practices. So we got to like see the duck facility back there and everything, which was kind of cool. It was super underwhelming. It was so small compared to like when you watch on YouTube, you watch like the reveal of like Texas University or Arizona State's golf and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and you're like, oh man, this is awesome. It was just a building on the back of the range with like a bunch of O's on it.
I
And I'm
think those others are anomalies. Like most of
Totally.
the other courses, it's just they have a course and they have like a couple bays they can hit out of and maybe hang out in,
Yep.
but that's it.
Yeah. And so
Yeah, and Texas and Arizona State are like very like large tradition of golf too, right, if
huge,
I'm not mistaken.
like this historic. But it was, I mean, 7,200 yards. It played that way, but I think what was the rating was like 74 and a half, I think. It was crazy. Like I never stopped.
Would you shoot?
I shot 76. I played really, really well. Like I made a
Mhm.
couple birdies. I was putting well. The greens were super
Probably
receptive.
32
But
putts, 31. How many putts?
birdie.
That's the
Oh,
that's the detail there that makes your round, Justin. Is it
That's
you
my
got
round. Yeah.
38 putts or
Usually
30 putts?
Yeah, it's usually 30 or 35, and that's the difference. And I still had 2 3 putts. I'm like, gosh dang it. I drove one of the greens that was a par 4 and I ended up 3 putting the damn thing. I was like,
There
you
you go.
dumbass. So, but I did take his money. He outdrove me on one hole, but I found my driver again. I drove over there because he ordered my driver shaft because he does like club work. So he ordered me that Graphite Designs VF 7X, put it together with the Titleist tip and everything on it. So I am absolutely in love with my driver again. So I can
I
put it
mean,
wherever I
Cam
want.
told you to buy it like 3 months
2
ago.
months ago. I get it.
All right, 2 months ago.
I get it.
It's like, hey, I just hit this, the best I've ever hit a driver, but I'm just totally gonna ignore that and never buy this thing that makes me hit the ball really well. So I'm just
Dude,
gonna
I was
Try 3 other shafts before.
everyone was like, no, you need a Ventus Black. No, you need a Ventus Black. Everyone is like trying to talk me into that Ventus Black because of swing speed and shit like that. And it's like, dude, I cannot feel this. I can't load it the right way. Like I lose it 3/4 of the way down and I have no idea where the head's at. Like, but everyone loves Ventus. It's just not for me.
I can't tell you what shaft I have in my driver off the top of my head. I'd have to go look at it. Tim, quick question for you while we're talking about clubs and whatever. Would you consider yourself like a club nerd, or are you kind of like you like what you like and then that's what you stick to? Like, where do you fall on that?
I mean, I pretty much I stick to what I have for the now that I have everything that I got fitted for. I've stuck to it pretty good. I haven't switched putters. I've been switching around a little bit because I'm got a lot of problems in my head with putting. But like right now, I don't want to switch anything because I'm honestly hitting it as good as I've ever hit it. So
Tim recently bought 2 putters of the same style,
oh man, here we
same
go.
brand, same exact putters, just 2 different colors.
One has a graphite shaft, has a different shaft.
Was it
Wait,
a
Oh,
lab?
sorry.
type
So
of
3
putter
putters.
are they?
You bought 3 putters.
No, I
Let's
bought
go.
2 putters. I didn't buy
What
3.
type of putter are they, Tim?
They're Ping PLDs. I got them for a good price. So
Well,
I
you
fooled
clearly aren't like that messed up in the head about putter because 1, you haven't gone lab, and 2,
He did.
I've done that. I've done that. I've done that.
He
I
had
have a
he had the
broom
cattle
set,
prod.
too.
He had the cattle prod.
Oh, you had the 2.1.
I hated lab.
Really?
Too worst putter
Too much
ever.
tech.
I hate it. Hated it. I'm not gonna blast them, but I'm not, and I'm not a fan of their Colt. So
Well, you've said it before though. Like it was fine for like the shorter putts. It was just anything over like 10 feet you just struggled with.
it's a good. They make good putters. I'm not gonna knock that, but I could not. It didn't matter because my distance control with it was awful. If I had the lag putt, it was almost guaranteed 3 putt. So I couldn't do it. I prefer. I always used a blade style putter growing up. So that massive like spaceship was. I never could. I don't know. I did like it on the shorter ones, but it wasn't good enough to keep around.
The
And
link
then-
is a blade. You could go link.
I can't do it now. The lab Colt. I don't want to like badmouth them, but I can't stand the Colt that surrounds.
I think my buddy that I was playing with yesterday, Todd, he has, and he'll say something about this because he'll listen. But I think he has 5 different lab putters.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
And he
more.
probably says, "Oh, Scotty Scheffler should get a lab putter. That's going to solve all his problems." Like that makes me want to like break every lab putter in sight. And it infuriates me when they put that in their lab putter group. Like, oh, they need a lab putter. Oh, you can't hit it off the tee. Get a lab putter. Oh, you can't break 90. Get a lab putter. Oh, you can't chip. Get a lab putter. Like it is like, and it's a cult. I'm sorry, it's a cult, and you're part of it.
Instead of CEO of PE, we need to go anti-lab. That's basically what Tim is going.
I
for
don't
right
want to
there.
be, but the people are like they make a good putter. Like that's the problem. But like the people that literally think that they cure cancer, I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. Like they literally think it does everything for you, and that infuriates me. I'm really trying to hold back right now.
They're like for golf, they're like that sports team, which they're like team's not bad, but like the fans are just insufferable. Like
They're
the Chicago
Cowboys.
Cubs.
It's
There
the
you go.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys fans. That is perfect. That needs to be the reel on this. The team that's
Oh, man.
unsufferable fans.
Or
Dallas
taking
Cowboys.
strays.
Everyone agrees. Stop the
Or
podcast
taking
right now.
strays.
All right.
Well,
all right.
did the CEO of Lab didn't he tomahawk a wedge into the fringe?
Yeah, the breaking.
Can't
it
confirm. Can't confirm if that happened or not right now.
No, it was on a video. It's the random golf club at
It
Bandon.
happened.
Yeah,
It happened.
But
It was
my
very
buddy
funny.
played with him at the Oregon AM qualifier, and he was like, "Yeah, dude's super nice." He made it through. He shot a 73, I think. So,
I think Sam's a nice guy. Sam's not a bad guy.
Mhm.
It's the people that surround. It's a cult. I'm sorry. Like go on their lab page, and
Yeah.
every week, Scotty Scheffler should get it. Scotty Scheffler needs a lab putter. No.
Hey,
No,
if
the
if
Facebook
that
groups are out of
Colt-
control. Yeah.
That
if that
infuriates
cult
me.
makes me that happy about putting, then I'm all for it. I'm about to join. I'm gonna let him tattoo my chest.
You've been saying that for 6 months, Justin.
Do
Yeah,
you
but I'm
have a
too-
lab putter?
No, I'm too freaking cheap to buy one. This is the
Oh.
problem with me and golf equipment. I love it, and I love to like look at it and like try new things. I will not buy it. And the other problem with me trying things is I'm left-handed, so like no one ever has anything cool to try.
We're not talking about character flaws now, okay?
Wow, let's calm down here, big guy.
Tim's the first right-handed guest we've had.
He is.
This is crazy.
Who was the other
All right.
guest that was left-handed? Tyler.
Tyler.
Yeah, that was it so far. We're gonna
We've
have
had 2 guests.
we're gonna have another guest, a buddy of mine who's playing like mini tour events, and he's lefty as well. So
But you took me this week.
We are going to do one with Pacific Northwest Golfer on Instagram. He does a ton of photography in the area, and he went to the 25th anniversary of Bandon, so that'll be kind of a cool episode as well. And he is
he
right-handed.
left-handed?
He is right-handed. So
Can I give you some advice, Jo, about being cheap? Because I'm notoriously cheap. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, just buy the club. Don't buy one that's similar to it. Don't buy one that you think's gonna be just as good, because guess what? You're gonna buy that one and it's not gonna live up to what you want to do, and then you're gonna eventually end up getting the one that you want. So
that's why I bought the 7X. Trust me.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you want the lab putter,
Let's say
get your
he's just
lab
telling
putter.
you to go buy that lab putter.
Well, so this year, like, Cam and I were at a work event, and I actually had a lab that was my specs and everything. I had it in the shopping cart, and I got pulled into a meeting. After that meeting, went to go exit and buy it, and it was already sold. So I was like, shit. And then the next morning I saw, I really wanted a Toulon. And so I bought the Toulon because it was like on Callaway pre-owned, and it was exactly what I wanted. So I'm not switching putters for a year, because like I randomly get on hot streaks with putting, but putting has always been my, like, Cam, the first thing he always looks at is like my putting stats on the Grant. And he's like, oh yeah, 36, that's rough.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
Knowing damn well I just had 36 putts myself the day before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a 10
I shot it.
I
broke 80 with 35 putts, but he had 36 and a 92, and he's like, yeah, screw you. Best thing ever. I'm like, gosh dang it.
I've actually been playing pretty well. I haven't sniffed 90 in a while. I've been low 80s, so stand down, Justin.
Because you haven't played in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Let's, and it was an 81 the last time I went out. Let's move on. We got to
way to go out on top.
There was a golf tournament this weekend, fairly decent sized one, the Open Championship at Royal Troon. Tim, you're our guest. Give us your just kind of initial thoughts on the tournament. Any takes that you got coming away from it? Let's hear from you.
All right. Well, I thought it was interesting. Like, all week leading up to it, you heard about the first 6 holes are heaven, and then the middle 6 holes are purgatory, and then the last 6 holes are hell. But the first 2 days with the wind change, it was actually the opposite. The guys really struggled on that first stretch, especially JT, which loved to see it shoot 45 on that front 9. Like, I'm not a fan.
Did you see his drive today on number 1?
No.
It went so far right, it was out of bounds. It went over the OB wall.
Oh yeah.
Like over the OB wall.
Yeah, he came back. I'm a JT hater, but I will give him props. Like, he could have
like 45-31 or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he grinded it back, and he played really good yesterday. He did get the better of the weather. I didn't see what he shot today, but he, as a hater, he's played a lot better this year. I'll give him that. He's in the top 30, I believe, in FedEx Cup. But I thought that was interesting, how everybody was saying how easy if you're gonna score, you got to score on those first 6 holes. And first couple of days, nobody was scoring on them really overall. I'm not a Xander fan, but he came out and he won it straight up. Like, I give respect where respect's due. He just came out and beat everybody. Like, Horschel shot 3 under today, and I think the Lawrence guy, I think he also shot 3 under. So those guys they didn't fold. Like, Xander he came and took it, and I give credit where credit's due with Xander. Like, he doesn't do anything for me. I don't dislike him, but I'm not like he's kind of boring to me. I don't know why. I think I don't like him because the first time I ever bet him, he didn't even make the cut. And so I
shot 80 or something. Yeah. I think my thing with Xander until this year was the announcers would be like, he's built for majors. He's built for, he hasn't won one in the 4 years he's been pro. and now he takes 2 home this year. So it's like, all right, like now that makes sense. But it just took him a while to take that next step to actually closing out a major. So
I was surprised. Like, one, I didn't think he would win an Open of all things. Like his game just doesn't strike me as like an Open championship type of guy. But also like the fact that he won another major this year was very surprising. I kind of thought it would take a bit for him to kind of get back into it and like competing at a high level in these events. So, I mean, that was pretty surprising.
Do you think though, like I think it's like when Scheffler came from Korn Ferry Tour, everybody was really high on him, and he took him a while to win, but then once he won, the floodgates opened. So do you think that maybe it was like Xander finally got that major win, and now it's like, I know I can do it, and so
I think it's
today
like,
he was basically free rolling because it's like, well, nobody expects me to win, right?
Yeah, as long as he's within striking distance, I mean, there's no reason for him to not have the confidence, right, to feel like he can compete and take it.
That mental boost after getting that first one's got to be just tremendous, right? Like you close out the PGA Championship.
Xander to win, though. Who didn't expect him to win? Even all the betting odds, they were giving more percentage to him to win than anyone
coming
else.
into Sunday. Yeah, he was the favorite.
Yeah. I honestly didn't like. I didn't think he was going to win. I thought Russell Henley was going to win if I'm starting today, because he's a really good ball striker. Like he fits the mold for
great putter.
He just didn't make any birdies. He hit the ball. Watched a lot of his round. He hit it good. I kind of thought like I shouldn't like Billy.
He was also bogey free.
Like
Russell Henley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought Billy Ho might take it down.
If you're looking at the leaderboard today and the scores for round 4, like Xander 65, Justin Rose 67, Horschel 68, Thurston 68, Russell Henley 69. Like it takes until you get down to like Scotty shot a 72, Matthew Jordan 71, Daniel Brown shot a 74. He did the inevitable, what Cam would call pooping down his leg. I mean, the scores were pretty low today. He cammed himself. I like that. That's going to be the phrase now. He cammed himself.
Listeners, just go ahead and look up Urban Dictionary what it means to cam. It's not what Shane Lowry did, but it's funny.
No, Daniel Brown. We weren't talking about Shane Lowry.
Oh, Daniel Brown. Sorry. Well, Shane Lowry kind of pooped down his leg too, but
yeah, he did that yesterday. But like the course was playing relatively good this afternoon. I think yesterday was the lowest scoring average I saw, and then it went today, and then like the highest was Friday.
Yesterday wasn't. It might have been
in the morning.
Average,
it was
the last 10 groups got the ball into that deal, man. Like they had terrible weather.
I mean,
they were hitting.
Were you proud of Billy there, Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tim was a Billy fan this weekend.
I was rooting for Billy.
From what he was texting me.
I mean, the backwards hat gang, I don't know why they kept mentioning it, but it was, him and Justin Rose wearing backwards hats their entire round, which I'm like, I get why you're doing it, but you guys are keeping it the entire time, which is funny.
It was almost like a rally cap.
Yeah.
At that point.
And Billy, like, took his jacket. You know how annoying it is to take your jacket on and off for every single shot?
He played like 5 holes with just the polo on. He like took his jacket off. He's like, I'm not playing with this. It's pouring down rain. I don't need a jacket.
I know. That's not like he's from Florida. Like he's a lot stronger than that. I give him credit for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a Billy hater for a while, but like I kind of just realized that he's just intense, and you got to give him props. Like he's kind of unapologetically himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so he played really good. I mean, he shot 68 today in the last group. Like normally that gets it done. But yeah, yesterday, man, they got the raw. Those guys got the guys that played towards the end. I mean, they were hitting. I think Lowry hit driver on the one part on 17 on the par 3.
Yeah, the last group yesterday. Yeah,
they couldn't like Scheffler hit 3 wood. I mean, like it was playing. None of those guys that shot super low were hitting lumber into those last couple of holes.
They were just trying to maintain and just get it to the clubhouse and just
Yeah.
try to slap something around and make par. But yeah, as Scheffler hit that 3-wood to like 6 feet or something
Yeah,
like
dude.
that. It was absurd.
Yeah, rolled it right by the hole.
Billy reminds me a lot of Nick Price for some reason. Like I watch
Yeah,
him, with,
jittery,
like how he kind of that quick kind of weird stabby backswing, and then how he does his whole like inching up to the putter.
Dude, I can't watch him like on the putting green. Like,
and his
it's
hands
so
are
bad.
so weird with that left hand low where he just kind of stabs at it. And it was interesting because in the coverage they showed him what are the two balls that they put on for like the alignment of putting, and then he put tees out in front, so he was trying to hit his gates, right? And he stabbed at one and it just doinked right off, and did another one, doink right off. It was like, oh, well, these guys are human, you know? They don't hit like perfect putts every time. It's kind of funny to watch that.
I was like, every time he did it in back nine today, I'm like, is that really how he's going to address this putt right now? Just scooting into it?
Yeah.
I'm like, what
is he about to hit it? Oh, he just hit it. Okay. All right.
This guy's a pro golfer? Okay.
Yeah. It's not even like the open, like his open stance and stuff. Like that's, I mean, like guys don't really do it as much anymore, but like in the 90s, like it was, most guys were open, or 80s, I guess. But like, yeah, he gets that left hand low. It's super out in front of him. And then it's just like, now he's got this pop stroke, but he does it 8 times as he gets closer and closer to the ball. And it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, but you got to give him credit. I mean, like he was like,
he drained everything.
Like he shot like 84 in the Memorial like a year or two ago. I mean, like
wasn't
he's a
that
grinder.
this year?
And I think it was last year. But he won the FedEx Cup. It's been like 10 years. I think he won it in 2014.
Was it that long ago?
I think so. Yeah.
Didn't Billy win?
He won it in 2014. I'm almost positive.
I'm looking it up right now.
Look it up.
He won it in 2014.
2014.
Yeah, so I mean that's
Tim's got the memory of an elephant here, guys.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I think I heard it on a podcast this week, but
yeah.
Did we say that, guys, last week? Was that us?
I think we said it last week.
That was us. Yeah. If you were listening to us, we actually provided some value to someone's life.
I don't. Oh, I did listen last week. I didn't listen the week before. I was on vacation. Sorry.
Well, what about the Thriston Lawrence guy? He
never heard of him
today. I've never heard of the guy in my
Never heard of him.
He shows up out of nowhere.
That's what's cool about the Open, though. Like you can get you're gonna get way different styles because it's not like playing most golf courses that they play week to week, right? So like you're gonna get guys who know how to score and get around the course and not just trackman golfers.
Yeah, like Bryson complaining about not being able to compress the ball and his equipment's not built for over here. That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can't believe some of those things that get said out of him. But
well,
yeah, Thriston Lawrence, he was hitting driver everywhere today. Like everywhere people were taking irons, he was just bombing driver. But it did turn out he has a 3-wood shaft in his driver, so he's basically anti-mini driver, but using a mini driver.
A
little bit more accurate.
He was like that one hole he hit. I don't remember what it was, but they were like he threaded the needle between a couple of bunkers. It was I want to say it was on like 9 or something. Everyone, yeah. But what was he? South African guy?
South African, yep.
Okay, so I mean, I also would you got to give some respect to Adam Scott and Justin Rose. Like they went and qualified for it. They weren't the guy's name that rhymes with hooch, just expecting, oh, give me an invitation. I mean, they went out and, they're long time, standards in the game. And they went out and qualified, and then they came out and balled out. Like, I have a lot of respect for those guys getting that far, having qualified.
Coming into today, Justin Rose was also in my head, I'm like, I would not be upset if this guy just wins the Open Championship right here. Knowing he qualified. I mean, he's been around forever, went pro when he was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I think he like tied for second as an amateur or something at the Open Championship too before he
He's
went
played
pro.
in 424 PGA Tour events.
Yeah, he's just
Did you
a
see
10.
that Adam Scott played? I think today was like his 93rd straight major. So he's played in majors for almost every major for almost 25 years. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, back to Justin Rose though. Like, did you guys? I never knew he was as intense as he is. Like, since he was playing in one of the final rounds, like they were showing him a lot. And dude, when he was lining up his ball and getting ready to pull the trigger, he looked like he was about to kill someone out there. Like,
he wanted to win, man.
yeah, but it made me like him more. I was like, damn, this guy is he is focused right now.
I liked his short time like on Full Swing the last season. I thought that was really good. Just
Totally.
like way to show him, you get to know him a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, he's just a long tenured guy that especially over there, Scotland and the UK, like people are rooting for him. He's one of the we'll call him home favorites. Once he's on the course in Europe, so. I thought it was a great Open Championship. Like you got everything that you wanted out of it, right? Friday or Thursday, you had some low scores, and then Friday, Saturday, the weather kind of screwed half the field. But I think that's what people want. They don't want birdie fest out of the Open Championship. They want big names to struggle, like Rory McIlroy did. He struggled pretty heavily. There was a gentleman who shot 91 on Friday.
Was his name Cameron? Who was that?
It was on the simulator.
You didn't play. You didn't play last week.
Well, since you bring up Rory, I have a hot take about Rory. If you'd like to hear it now.
Well, that's what
it was. Aguri Iwasaki. That's who shot 91 on Friday.
So I was going to bring this up, and it kind of goes into what you're going to say, Tim. Like, if we look past the cut line, like there's so many people who miss the cut that are like solid golfers. I mean, you've got Akshay right there. You've got our Ryder Cup captain coming up. Will Zalatoris.
Wyndham Clark with an 80 on Friday.
Yeah, JT Poston. I mean,
Sahith.
like they're Minwoo Lee, Tommy Fleetwood, which Cam, wasn't that your pick to win? No, that was Teddy's pick to win. Bryson went 76, 75. Like
that was not my pick.
Tony Finau, so many
Cam
names
Smith
down here.
Shot 80 on Thursday.
And then you've got Tiger Woods down here at plus 14, Wyndham Clark at plus 16. I mean, those guys are down at the very bottom.
Hey, Tiger beat Sahith, Wyndham, some guy named Todd Hamilton, Aguri Iwasaki. He's got some names that he beat this week, guys.
You don't know who Todd Hamilton is?
Is it Josh's brother?
No, I think he won the Open.
He did.
Okay.
So, but
he was in the first grouping, I think, with Justin Leonard on Thursday.
He was. His swing was like so awful. They were like killing him early on. Yeah.
I was like, I think that looks more like my swing than like a professional swing. Because he was way over the top, hitting these big old like cuts, fades. Yeah.
Tim, you bring up Rory. Like, I mean, how all of us last week, you guys were going to ridicule me if I didn't pick Rory for my pick. And I felt to it because he was the top ranked, and I've kind of
at that time it was the best pick possible.
Yeah, my picks to win have been absolutely horrible, so I'm just taking the top ranked golfer to try and do it. So, but it's like Rory that was like double leg poop.
Yeah, he double cammed
himself.
So my hot take on Rory isn't necessarily just because it's not only because he missed the cut this week. It's because I think Rory has turned into a dome golfer, a TrackMan golfer. Like, if you watched him play on Friday, he wasn't even trying to hit it he wasn't even trying to hit like low flighted shots. It was like he was trying to hit it above the wind.
Yeah.
I think that Rory has become Americanized, PGA Tour, soft, know exactly what the ball's going to do when it lands on the green, dome golfer. Because look what happened this year when he had the two majors that had weather. What did he do? the Masters and the Open, he was not good, and they both had weather involved.
I mean, he won the Scottish last year with that pretty
That
famous
was an incredible shot. Yeah.
At
famous shot.
Renaissance, it's not really a links course though, per se. It's not like a true. It's not a true like mutter course. I told you it was a hot take. I mean, you can discuss it, but he's turning into like right, like he played good at the U.S. Open. Why? Because he can hit it really high and he can hit it really far. He didn't have to worry about wind. He didn't have to worry about rain. You know, and he was even didn't he say like I was already thinking about my next vacation? Like, was that him that said that on Friday?
Yeah.
He's like, once I made bogey on this hole, I knew like it just wasn't happening. So he's like, yeah, he pretty much said he gave up.
But I just feel like his game has gone like his game works really well for the PGA Tour, right? Like these guys, they sit on track, man. They know exactly how far their ball is going to go. And the majority, and Cam complains about it, that they play lift, clean, and place. So they know within 3 yards of where the ball is going to land. Well, guess what? You don't know what the heck it's going to do over here. Like that, a really good professional golfer, the last thing they want is the ball rolling on the ground. That's the last thing they want, and they don't have to do it week to week.
So has Rory gotten too soft? That's basically what you're saying, Tim.
Has he turned into a dome golfer? Not soft. Has he turned into a dome
Well,
golfer?
I mean, you
said soft. You said
soft. I mean, he's gotten too soft to the point where he's not flighting balls, and he's not like actually being as creative.
But does that make him soft?
Well, he's not playing in weather. He doesn't have to play in weather when you live in Jupiter, Florida, and that's all you're doing on the TrackMan, right?
Well, if you play on the PGA Tour, they chase 70 mile an hour or 70 degree weather and lift, clean, and place every week. So like that doesn't make him soft. I mean, technically it makes him smart because there's only like probably one chance a year, and he's like, well, I can go back to rest on my laurels because I grew up there, right? But like he struggled in the wind at Augusta this year, and he struggled in the wind here. So that's just my hot take. You know, I wouldn't say he's soft. Don't put words in my mouth, but I would say he's become a pampered PGA Tour player.
Wait a second, Tim. You just said he's not soft, but you just called him pampered. How in the hell is that? Those are two of the same exact things, man. Like, come on. Pampered and soft. Like, those can't go more hand in hand.
Well, I don't want to call him soft because, like, a lot of people, he got a lot of crap for not talking to the media at U.S. Open. But, like, when I pay to play. I don't get paid to play. I don't want to talk about when I shoot 80. I don't want to talk about it. So, like, I mean, I kind of like, should he have talked to the media? Yes. Did it make him look lame? Yes. But at the same time, like, the way he lost, like, he probably should have stayed, but I kind of don't blame him for not staying.
I wouldn't have wanted to. Not talking to the media. Like, I like the fact that he was like pissed, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna say something really dumb if I go out there. Like, and
he didn't rip his shirt this time.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I love seeing that picture like randomly, like on Twitter or Instagram. It's like, why is Rory standing in this clubhouse with just a toilet?
So I mean, do you guys not think that he's a dome golfer?
No, I think what you said makes a lot of sense. But he does perform well at the Open overall. His career. I mean, he's tied for 6th last year, 3rd the year before.
What did he do at his home course?
Was that tied for 46? So nothing great.
Oh, I thought he missed the cut that year in Ireland.
I don't know what year.
I think I'm not. I think it's more of a recent thing. I think it's more. I don't think he's always been that way. I think it's becoming. And to his credit, that's what he plays week to week.
Yeah.
Right. So like, It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think he's gonna struggle. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is, and I think he struggles in the wind.
It is kind of interesting. Like, you bring up a really good point, because a lot of these tournaments are in just like their 75-degree weather, or 90-degree weather, no wind, throw it as high as possible, putting on 13s, or 12 and a half.
Hashtag ban LCP. Ban it. I want mud balls.
So but like, it does bring up the question, like, is the golf in the States like really soft? And like less creative, especially the golf courses. I mean, we talked about this last week about links, because I've never been.
I think it's more so the courses
fan.
they play. The courses they play, right? Like they're limited because they have to be able to make build outs. They have to be in a big enough area. Like, and to be honest, really good golf courses don't want to give up their course for a week, 2 weeks, a month, right? Like, and I don't blame them, but they play, like they get to play in perfect conditions every week. Like, every course they play every week spends their entire year on maintenance
preparing
for that 1 week. So,
except Innisbrook, I don't think they're preparing all year. From what I saw,
was it bad?
Teddy was not impressed.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the conditions were fine. It's a shithole. The whole thing is a shithole.
Yeah, that place is not. Yeah, that's probably why a lot of guys don't really like to go there. And it's
but they have a good field. They always have like a decent field. That's what makes no sense.
They didn't for a long time though, man. I think it recently changed. For a long time, like I would be like, because it's only my mother-in-law lives in Tampa area. I had zero desire to go because it was usually like you'd get like Spieth always seems to play there, and sometimes maybe like JT, but it never did they make it it always landed in a really bad time. Like at one point it was like right around Bay Hill and TBC, and then they moved it to like April.
It's still around. It's still like I think it's before Bay Hill. I can't remember. It's still in that same part of the schedule, but all the guys play like there, Bay Hill and TPC, and like, I mean, a handful will sit out the Valspar, but for the most part, they're going to make that trip as well since they're down here. Might as well get the points and get the money.
Well, I don't think a lot of guys they don't really want to play at Bay Hill either.
Yeah, that's true. Which is
they always played it out of respect for Arnold. And now they made it a signature event because it's like one of the hardest courses they play all year because they're not afraid to grow the rough.
Yeah,
they will burn it out. Like,
yeah, that's one of the courses I was able to walk when I went down to Florida, and I went to like Thursday at Bay Hill, and it was like that rough. I mean, I went to go follow Rory, and like every other person in that entire limit, everyone was around Rory, but I was sitting right next to, I think it was like 11th green, and he put his iron shot right off of it, and you could not see the ball. And he takes like a full half swing flop shot, and it goes 5.5 feet, like to just flop right onto the green. It was like, holy shit, this is crazy rough. So yeah, it's a beautiful.
See, that's
course,
what I'm saying. Like they always went there because they respected Arnold. Now Arnold's gone. They made it a signature event. The players don't want to go there because it's hard. Like it's demoralizingly hard. Have you played it, Teddy? I've never played it.
No, I've been to the tournament.
Yeah, me too. I've been to the tournament. Like, I've been to Wells Fargo and Charlotte. I've been to TPC. The funniest thing about Bay Hill is the people sell drinks out of their backyard. Did you experience that?
Oh, that's funny.
I'm surprised that the golf course lets them do that.
Or that more places, like people that live on other courses, don't do it.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting at Bay Hill walking around. There was like signs everywhere of like, it was almost like you were tailgating. and they
Yeah.
they had like their own like little areas in their backyards, and it was named something. It was kind of funny, like, huh, all right, so this is the Robertson Island, because the Robertsons had this VRBO and they turned it into their little like party area, but that
No,
was a
those
thing
people
at Bay
those
Hill.
people live there. My friend Banks at he works at Truist, and he has tons of clients that live in there. And the last time we went, we parked at one of their houses, and one of them has like a party. Like they all have. Yeah, you're right. They do have parties. They do,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're VRBOs. Like I think like those people actually live
The residents having a good time.
there. Yeah, because it's a
I could
very
get down with
residential
that.
area.
Might as well take advantage of if you're paying that much for a house in that area. So
Yeah, because I remember we left and we were like thirsty, and we just stopped by somebody's backyard and they were selling water bottles for like $2 as opposed to $6 at their
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
concession. So anyway, sorry, I totally derailed us. It's on me. I'll hand up accountability on that one.
If you weren't going to do it, I was. So that's all right.
So I had one thing. Did you guys watch the Phil Mickelson and Grant Horvat videos?
Yeah.
I think Kim,
I
you
watched the
mentioned it.
first 9 holes. I didn't watch the Cam spoiled it, so there was no reason for me to watch the
I
second
know
one.
you're such a. I can't believe you did that, Kim. But I was on a plane
Cry
to
about it,
Dallas, so
guys. Cry about
I
it.
had more than enough time, so I watched both of them, and I watched the chipping one that he did. For one, I can't believe Phil actually agreed to the whole wearing joggers in the Open thing. If
He looked
lost.
ridiculous.
Like, I think that's absolutely hilarious. Like
Primo had to be stoked that Grant pulled that out. I'm just saying,
like I want to know what their sales did after this, because I bet they went through the roof. I mean, I don't think he looked ridiculous, but it definitely was not a Phil
I don't
look.
know. The joggers with the Jordans, like if you're over, like I think I'm too old to wear that.
Yeah.
Teddy was about
And
to
I'm
say
31.
do you own a pair of joggers at all, Teddy?
No.
Really?
And I'm a bit older than you, and I do not.
Yeah.
I've got one pair.
I wouldn't wear them on the golf course, but I have a couple
And
pair
I'm a
of
PE
just
teacher too.
jogger pants. Yeah.
Like I wear them to like just walk around, stuff like that. They're pretty comfortable for that. I hate when people show socks or wear tall socks, and so you can see like the joggers and then the sock and then the shoe.
So usually I agree with you, but I got the socks from Cabot the last time I was there, and they're like what are they? The Del Campo brand or whatever. So they're like the crew cut, and they're a little bit taller. Yeah, there you go. Tim's wearing a Cabot hat. But those socks, they're almost like a compression sock, and so they're super comfortable. And I kind of want to wear them all the time now. So I might just buy all of the. I really hope it's called Del Campo, but I'm probably gonna just buy those socks now going forward and just wear crew cut socks.
No,
because I swear they're so comfortable.
So there was someone else. There was another like Instagram golfer guy, and he posted that only old guys wear no-show socks at this point.
Del Campo. That's pretty much all that I have.
Trend, I think that's the trend. Like I'm probably the old guy in this group by far, but I definitely only like to wear no shows. I think the style
I
is
only
not
wear no shows.
And crew, I think
I hate
style.
crew socks. Like it is so ugly. And the other thing too, like we all play enough golf. The sock tan line is absolutely horrendous. Like,
yeah, but it's gonna be bad no matter what. So
I want that shit as low as possible.
I mean, you live in Oregon. How often do you have to wear shorts? I don't know the weather. Like, isn't it always kind of wet and?
No, it's like
In
300
Bend,
days of sunshine.
Yeah, it could be warm.
Oh.
Bend is the high desert, so it's nothing like Portland. Like I live right in the middle of the state. So we have like 300 days of sunshine. I live kind of in the mountains.
Bend's very close to like Denver climate.
Yeah, very, very like Boulder is very, very similar to what Bend is.
Yeah.
So what do you consider hot?
Well, I mean, the last week and a half, it's been 95 to 102.
Oh, okay.
And that's just in your house, right?
Well, so update on that. My cheap ass decided to forego the new HVAC system since it was $18,000. But I did replace the fan, and so now the house is like absolutely beautiful.
It's so cold.
Yeah, and then see, this is where. How old are you?
So
How old are you?
So this is the thing that happened. The
40?
HVAC system goes out. It was just the blower. So we had someone come out and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be $1,200 to replace the blower. The system's like 20 years old. We're probably gonna have to replace it at some point. And I was like, all right, I'm expecting like $7,000 to $10,000. And they came back with the cheapest quote being 14, the most expensive being 18. And they were like, I talked to another HVAC guy and he's like, honestly, if you can wait 6 months to a year, it's going to go down a lot in price because there's so many new homes being built right now that they're just charging like replacement systems. They're just doubling costs. So if you can wait that long until we get out of the hot season, it's probably going to go lower. So it was like, all right, do I roll the dice on $1,200 to potentially save? And so that's what we did. And everyone agrees with me that that was the move to go. So
No,
screw
because
you,
now
Tim.
you're going to spend 13,000 in 6 months, and now that 13,000 is now 14 too.
Well, no.
As somebody who just replaced it, listen, I live in Florida. Like, if you don't have AC,
which is completely different.
you would
It's different.
Why is it different?
Because there's a peak season for HVAC in Oregon, and it is literally right now. Like,
I know,
it is
but
until the end of August.
They don't fluctuate their prices. Like, it's not
They
gas.
do. They do.
Okay, you'll find out. I'm just telling you.
Who's the AC? Who's the AC?
Unit. Now listen, I will say this. Your unit, if it's 20 years old, is not efficient at all. And you replacing that fan is working all day. And when I had to get a new unit like 3 years ago, and we had a 17-year-old unit. And when I got the new unit, my electric bill also went down 30%. So, like, because the unit was so old that it literally did not stop running. It just ran all summer. So,
I know all this. We are replacing it at some point. I'm doing it not when it's at the peak point of the season, because also they couldn't do it for the next 2 to 3 weeks anyways. And there was a couple guys I called and they were like, "Oh, you're 2 months out if I do it." And I was like, "Well, there's no way in hell I'm."
Did you get quotes from other people?
Yeah, and I got quotes from 3 people, and 2 out of the 3 told me to wait 6 months to a year, and the pricing's going down. Cool.
And then they said, "Yeah, but we'll charge you $1,200 for this now." And
they put a note on your
account.
When it goes down, charge this guy $20,000.
Yeah, probably, and I'm fine with that because right now it's $1,200, and I can go buy a new driver.
We'll go buy the new putter and quit being.
Get that lab putter.
I have the putter that I'm sticking with for the year. I already told you guys this. An entire year. This is what this putter's doing.
Teddy looks
well,
like.
I think that's interesting that they are charging less in the winter. It doesn't make sense.
It's just because they don't have as much work. They're not building homes like They
don't build homes in the winter?
No, because it freaking snows here, Tim. It's not Florida.
You said it was the high desert.
They build homes in the winter.
They build homes in the winter, but it's not like it is right now. Like,
it's just log cabins that don't have AC.
Yeah,
just fireplaces. That's it.
Yeah. Can we get to picks? Are we going to talk about this? Because
I thought we weren't doing picks.
I'm coming.
We haven't recapped our open picks.
Yeah, we haven't recapped the open picks, and I'm starting to catch up to Cam, which I'm pumped about. So everyone wrote me off, and I finally got some picks.
How about loser pays for Justin's AC by the end of the year?
I quit the pod. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. That's an expensive bet.
So Justin had a nice little week on his picks. He has 2 points for picking the DFL and what was it, Mark Hendry?
Yeah.
And then the cut line, he picked +4. It ended up being +6 because of the Friday weather. Just took a lot of guys, out back and did them old Yeller style on Friday. Teddy got a point for being closest to picking the winner with Scotty Scheffler. And I get 0 points because I picked Colin Morikawa as my winner. I picked who's my DFL? Abraham Answer, who ended up making the cut on the number, and I had +3 for the cut line. So
you were so pumped about Colin too. Like you,
I thought it was a good pick.
That's who I ended up putting money on. Was Colin.
That was a good pick. So, Justin, you're still dead last with 13 points on second. With 16. And
Hey, I'm
Teddy's
making a
got it.
comeback. I'm only 5 points behind. I'm 5 points behind Teddy now. I'm only 3 points behind you.
Good luck. We still haven't decided what the winner gets, but we'll figure that out.
Well, Tim, do you have any suggestions on what we should do?
I'm sorry, I was Googling whether it was cheaper to buy HVAC in the summer or winter in Oregon.
Oh my gosh.
Britt, what's the question?
So we're trying to decide if what the loser has to do or what the winner gets for our season-long points race.
Well, what if, now this is one that's used a lot. What if you did like the 24-hour at Waffle House or IHOP punishment? And for every at the Waffle House, for every waffle that you eat, you get an hour off.
Well, that's not quite fair for some of us because like Cam would be out in 30 minutes. Whereas
I'd eat 12 waffles in the first hour and that's time and a half instantly.
Well, you still have 12 hours in the first
We're also
hour.
not close enough because that's something you want to be in person for.
I know, but like that could be
that
can be like content, right? Like you don't even have, it doesn't have to, you could have people come visit you, right? Like you could do like little IG reels.
I don't even have a Waffle House
Twitter.
within 100 miles of me.
What?
Yeah, I don't have a Waffle House or IHOP.
Oh God.
Where do you go for waffles or pancakes?
I've actually never ate at Waffle House either.
Well, it doesn't have to be like those brand ones. Like there has to be a pancake house. Like that's 24 hours.
Or like margaritas at Chili's. You got to have 24 margaritas in 24 hours.
Gosh. Can you imagine the hangover of trying to drink 24 Chili's margaritas?
Don't you travel for work?
We went to Chili's this weekend. That's so funny.
So according to, there is the original pancake house.
Yeah, you know how much those pancakes are? That's not cheap like IHOP.
How much are the
cheap, buddy?
Yeah, IHOP is not cheap anymore.
The IHOP here actually just got shut down like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, terrible.
There was a car that literally ran over like a 4-foot concrete barrier, went over the barrier and took down the sign. And then like 2 weeks later they shut it down.
You're deflecting though. You could still go to a waffle. Do you have any 24-hour diners or breakfast place that serve
Denny's? Do you guys have a Denny's?
No, that went out a long time ago.
So Ben just doesn't have fun, or
I thought Bend was like a relatively large.
It's 115,000 people, I think, something like that.
Okay.
I think that you're in last place and you're worried about having to do this.
I mean, we've got the Black Bear Diner. I guess that could be it, and it's open till 10 p.m. That's probably my closest bet. But Teddy and Cam both said no to this as well, I think. So
we didn't say yes or no.
I'm not going to lose, so it doesn't matter.
Whoa.
I know, but think of the content you could get out of it.
Right.
I could see that.
Tim, if you think of any other ideas, send them over via text. We'll weigh out the whole Waffle House idea.
You could have to like, they do the ones where people have to qualify for like the state am or the US am or something.
Yeah, but it should be like not golf, since we're golfers. Like we should try to qualify for like a bowling tournament or something that we don't actually.
Like that. One, like if we tried to do the state am or something, everyone in, like we all have to be under a 5. I mean, Cam's not losing. He already made that clear, but
he could like make a fake handicap.
Yeah, we have to somehow get the fake handicap down to a 5. So
you're a 4, so you're good.
Yeah, no, I know. I was talking about Cam's handicap, but
I think Cam wants to do the Waffle House thing.
I think that would be funny.
Sounds painful.
I would be okay with the Waffle House as well.
I got one like 2 miles away.
He would have the hardest time because he doesn't eat a lot. Like I've
sweet things though. like the waffles with the peanut butter chips and the chocolate chips, like I can kill those.
I know, but like think about like how many you'd have to eat just to get out of there.
24 of them.
Well,
Sounds
not necessarily, because like if you eat, like if you eat like 12 of them in the first 2 hours, you're already down to just 10 hours.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
It's
All
easy
right.
money, dude.
That's brutal. All right, so for next week, next week's the 3M Open. We'll post our picks dead last and cut line on IG in the stories. So we'll have to pick those things out. It is kind of interesting. We've got the Gala, Tony Finau, Bradley, Akshay. I mean, there's even Billy Horschel is going to be there. So making the trip over from Scotland to play in Minnesota, that's got to be a son of a bee trying to make that time
I mean,
change.
he's probably been on the plane for a few hours now, so I'm sure he'll be all right.
Yeah, but that's got to be brutal. So Sam Burns will be there. I mean, it's an all right field. Nothing great. Oh, Justin Rose will be there too. Interesting.
Is there a cut next week?
Tim, can you check that on for us? Is there a cut next week?
Tim, can you
There's a
confirm if
cut.
there's a cut next week?
There is a cut.
Cut.
Okay, thank you.
Gosh.
Tim, you're our guest. You wanna leave the listeners with some last words here on the Pitchmark Collective here as we wrap this up?
Oh man, yeah, you put me on the spot. No, I got nothing. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Teddy, I'm glad I could clear the hair from Teddy Ruxpin. And
thank you for the context. Teddy made you out to look like a villain, and it wasn't the case. So
yeah, so
right.
Lori's Grill in Bend, Oregon. There you go.
There you go.
Tim is dead set on this punishment.
Yeah,
here.
I don't know
All
why
right.
Tim is so fascinated with meat and waffles. This is weird.
All right, guys. Listeners, make sure you're following us, like and subscribe on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Pitchmark Collective. We'll talk to you guys next time. Tim, thanks again for coming on.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep, no problem. Enjoyed it.